Hi folks, this is astrologer Johnny Barnett. I got a little more information for you about the Astro sacred geometry ritual if you're interested in finding out more about how this works. Um, Basically, the idea, as I mentioned in the previous video, the idea is that we can use ritual to help us have a breakthrough moment or a transformative moment. If we want to make a big change in our life, if we want to experience life in a different way, a more fulfilling way, ritual helps us focus our attention, and you might say helps focus God's attention or the God's attention on us, in order to sort of bring all of the forces external and all the forces internal into alignment on a particular intention that you set. The intention is key, right? The intention is how we want our life to be, what we want to be experiencing. So what happens when you sign up for the Astro Sacred Geometry Ritual? You get a consultation with me, the astrologer, and I'm taking a look at your chart while we're conversing, and I'm identifying two or more planets that are involved in, say you're having trouble with career. And I can identify which of these two planets are contributing to that difficulty and then calculate a moment in time, because they're always moving. You're born with them in perhaps a square relationship, if you know what squares are in astrology, difficult alignment. And yet they move. And throughout time, they're constantly realigning themselves, if you will. And we pick one of these moments when they are in a fortuitous alignment, an alignment that provides the opportunity for you to make a breakthrough. That's half the step, half the procedure, and then the other half is you actually seizing the moment and putting your focus, your attention, and your energy into achieving that breakthrough. And that's where my ritual guide will come in. I have a handful of women who are priestesses, who are experienced and skilled at facilitating ritual, designing ritual, leading people through ritual. And you will partner with one of these, whichever one you choose, to help you flesh out your ritual. They'll help you if you're not familiar with ritual at all. They'll give you the basics. If you are more experienced in ritual, they'll give you ideas to help you make the most potent ritual that you can. And we tie it all together. You have your moment in time. Boom, you do your ritual and you start to see things change in your life. And then you have the follow through, because it's so easy to backslide if you're not careful. So we have a procedure to get you to that breakthrough moment, and then recommendations for staying in that new vibration. There is a daily practice which is required for almost everyone to harness their energy on a regular basis, to stay grounded in the moment, in the physical, as we are moving through this world. So yeah, that's the basics of the sacred geometry astro ritual, astro sacred geometry ritual. The reason I put sacred geometry in there is because most astrologers are looking at a flat piece of paper with your chart on it, or a flat computer screen. It's two-dimensional. When I employ sacred geometry principles, it's as if we are spiraling up off of the page or off of the flat two-dimensional surface. We're bringing it into a three-dimensional experience. So it's a whole nother level. If you know a bit about astrology, you heard me mention squares, you know about trines and sextiles, and we think those are really fortuitous alignments or aspects. I go beyond that. If you're familiar with Fibonacci, you might say there's an elements of Fibonacci in what I'm doing. I'm not going to explain it all here in this video, but if you are interested, of course, contact me and we can talk some more about exactly how I'm calculating this. But yeah, it's a way that you're not going to find in any other astrologer, because I've talked to all the other astrologers, and they look at me like I'm speaking a foreign language, which baffles me because all of astrology is based on geometry. So instead of just using flat two-dimensional geometry, why on earth would we not use three-dimensional geometry to level up, if you will, to achieve an expression of this conflict you might feel at this level might look very different at a higher level. I believe Einstein was the one who said a problem cannot be solved at the same level at which it was created. And so we're taking an internal conflict that we're all born with, one or more. We're taking that conflict and finding a way to raise it up to a higher vibration. The nuts and bolts don't change. You still have these issues, but you experience them in a very, very different way. You experience them from a place of empowerment rather than a place of victimhood. I have this quote on the webpage. If you've been to the webpage yet, you've seen it. If not, I highly recommend you go visit chakraology.org, and you'll see the link to the ritual page. But there's a quote from Carl Jung there that says, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, you will experience hardship in life and call it fate." I'm paraphrasing there. You can get the exact quote online. But the point is, when you're born with an internal conflict and you don't have any context to put it in, if you don't have any greater understanding of why this is happening to me, for example, you think you might be doomed or fated to experience life this way. And as Jung taught us, there's lots going on the unconscious or subconscious level. And we bring that into awareness, and we're no longer fated. It's more a question of being destined to live life in a certain way. And that's much more empowering than being victimized by your karma, for example. So yeah, we all have stuff to work on. This is not a magic pill to make all this stuff go away, but it is truly magical, and that it makes it elevate to a more productive level so that you can harness that energy that's being generated by your internal conflict and have a breakthrough moment and experience life in a much more satisfying way. So I hope you'll join me. If you haven't yet, you go back to the web page. You can sign up. We have a couple different prices, different levels, depending on how involved you want your ritual guide to be in the process. But yeah, we have a couple different offerings, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop me a message or a comment in the comments below here. And yeah, look forward to working with you if you feel like you're ready to really have a breakthrough in a way that you're not going to find through traditional talk therapy or church or any other method you might have tried before. So yeah, give us a shout. Thanks. Bye.